Hello everyone, my name is Shwani Tyagi, your philosophy and ethics teacher. So today we are going to learn Nyaya and Vishishka. So when we talk about Nyaya and Vishishka, so Nyaya and Vishishka. So as it word says, Vishesh. So it's basically particular, right? Another thing, Nyaya is more towards logic and reasoning. And basically, Nyaya asks that how do we know about that knowledge? How do we know about that knowledge? And Vishishka asks that whatever we are understanding, right? So it talks about that what do we know? What do we know? So these are the questions that Nyaya and Vishishka ask about. So basically, Nyaya is epistemology and Vishishka is metaphysics. Now they both are studied together. Why they are studied together? Because first we have to understand that what do we know, right? Then how we are knowing it, what are the proofs to know it, right? So it's Nyaya talks about. So when we talk about Vishishka, so it talks about basically Pramana, right? So what are the proofs that we know? So when it comes to Nyaya and Vishishka, they both are divided, right? So when we talk about it, perception, inference, testimony, and comparison. So these four are accepted by Vishishka. When it comes to Nyaya, Nyaya accepts perception and inference, right? So these are the difference that we have to understand. And Vishishka and Nyaya are always understood together because they correlate each other. They are like a twin system. Now let's understand each one by one. So they closely relate to School of Indian philosophy, focusing on logic, epistemology, and metaphysics, like the differentiation I gave it to you. I hope that you have understood what Nyaya and Vishishka is and why do we study it together. Because they ask the questions that are correlated. First, we have to find out that what is the matter, right? What is the reality? What is life about? Then we have to basically understand the sources behind it, the logic behind it, the reasoning behind it, the proofs behind it, right? So this is why we study both of these together. Then together they offer a complete picture of knowledge and reality. I hope you have understood. So make sure this table is written. It's very important. So I came up with these basically dravyas, gunas, karma, samanya, vishya, and samavaya and abhava. So basically these are 7 categories that Vishishka talks about. Through these categories, we understand what we are basically knowing, right? The knowledge that we are basically getting from this world is through these 7 padarthas. Now, let's talk about these 7 categories, the padarthas that it talks about, the Vishishka talks about. So, Dravya is basically of 9 types, and one of the student asked me in the classroom that is it important that we have to learn these Sanskrit words also? So yes, it is very important that once you are writing all of these in English, right, the types, the divisions in English, you have to write their Sanskrit words also. You might be thinking that it is very tough because you won't be able to remember it. You will forget it if you are not understanding their meaning, their words, right? Mugging up won't help. I've like said it in many classes that if you will try to mug up these words, it will not help. So you have to understand what's the reason behind saying it. You have to break it down. So only that will help you, and it will help you to remember it for a longer time. Now when we talk about guna, so guna is color, taste, smell, touch. We'll try to understand this with examples also. First of all, let's understand what's the meaning behind it. When we talk about karma, actions, there are types, upward movements, and then downward, and contractions and locomotions. Then samanya, which is universal, similarity, right? Which have basically all the features in all of the things. Then the types are higher, right? Examples, existence, and lower is sportness, right? Then Visheshka, which is particularity. Particularity in it, we have infinite and then indivisible entities. Then we have Samavaya, which is inherence. It's existing in itself, right? Then there are one type which is eternal, inseparable. You cannot separate it. Then Abhava. There are 4 types of Abhava, and which we'll understand and learn with examples. So when we talk about Dravya, substance, there are 9 types, right? How? Now let's take example. For example, clay. is there, and through clay we get port, right? So now the type of this division, the dravya here, the substance here is clay, because through clay only we get the port, right? So this is substance. When we talk about water, fire, tejas, these are like, there are different examples in it, right? So when we talk about river, what is the substance over here? Water, right? So this is how you have to understand, and make sure that answers and examples are pre-written on this, because these are very easy. Once you will start and understand these words, it is very easy to form these answers, because they have very limited things that have been told in Nyaya and Vishishka especially, and same goes with Charvak also. So make sure that the answers are pre-written, the examples are pre-written. Now when it comes to quality, everyone has qualities. You and me have quality which makes me differ from you and me, right? So there are certain qualities which makes us unique. So this is what it says, that there are qualities, the color is there, taste is there. And another thing that it talks about is that this quality, this guna is dependent on dravya. If dravya is not there, then guna would not exist. There is no existence of guna. So guna is basically dependent on dravya. Now when we talk about it, so suppose they are like chairs. So there the chair has color, right? And chair basically a food has taste. So these are the things, these are the qualities that one object has. When we talk about actions, karma, right? So there are different karmas it talks about, right? So karma is basically going to leads us to wealth. The movement that is happening with karma is because of dravya. If dravya is moving upward or downward, it's because of karma. So basically, because of karma only, the movement of dravya can be seen. So again, it is dependent on dravya. Then next we have samanya, the similarity. There is some basically common features that are seen. Common features in humans, common features in like chair, like there are some chairness that we can call, and common features in human, common features in animals, and that's the universal thing, right? And that's how we basically divide it in categories. Then we talk about vishesha, the particularity. Particularity with it, infinite. It applies to all eternal and indivisible entities. Why we are talking about it? Here basically we talks about atoms and soul. So eternal and indivisible entities, as atoms cannot be basically they are so small particles, right? We cannot divide it further. So in the same way, souls are different, right? But they have some common features, right? They cannot be divided further. So in the same way, we have abhava, and there are four kinds. What are those? Prior absence. For example, there is some idea in my mind, right? But the actual substance is missing. Suppose I have idea of port, I have idea of golden mountain, but it's not existing right now, right? So that's prior absence. Then we have destructional absence, which is called when we have basically we destructed that particle, destructed that substance, right? And that substance absence is called destructional absence. That absence is not presented there anymore. For example, if we broke something, if we broke the pot, right? So that absence of pot is known as destructional absence. Then we have absolute absence, that is atyanta bhava. So absolute absence means that it is like differentiating, it's not existing at all. There is no presence of it, right? Then we have mutual ananya bhava, right? For example, you are not me and I am not you, right? For example, another example we can take that chair is not rabbit. So there is like ananya bhava, like difference can be seen, like there is like a vast difference between those four, right? So this is what abhava means. I hope that you have understood it, and make sure that you are writing these answers also. Now, when we talk about Nyaya and Vishishka, it explains about illusions, appearances due to defects in perception or memories. So it says that, let's take the example of rope and snake only. So you are moving in a room and where light is very dim, and you assume that snake to be a rope, right? And you think that it's a snake and you get fear, right? So this is what Nyaya and Vishishka says, that our memory and perceptions can sometimes deceive us, right? So they are basically, these two schools are basically reflective, realistic. They are realist. Basically, they says that there is world, there is existence of world. We are just covered with illusion and maya, and we just have to remove it with right knowledge. And that right knowledge will happen with Nyaya and Vishishka all together. So this is what it says, that once you move into the room and that light is dim, but once you switch on that right light, right, with a good lightning, then you can see that that the snake that you were assuming, it was a rope. So in the same way, once you'll have the right knowledge, once you'll mix up and try to question like Nyaya and Vishishka, an answer like Nyaya and Vishishka, and you'll have the right knowledge, then only you can understand the illusion and you can come out it from, and then this Maya will be gone, and then we'll have true liberation. Then perception, mind and sense organs interact to produce cognition, correct or erroneous. So this is what it says, that perception, even perception can give us different things. This is why these two, not these, basically Vashishka basically understand and accepts perception, inference, comparison and testimony. And the another one only accepts two, perception and inference. So these are the things that you have to understand and write in the table, and this is why I tell you to make table like these. If you think that you can memorize these table, but these categories, these padartha should be there. With example, it should be there. So this is why it is important, as once you'll be like preparing for it, once you'll be done with this unit, then it will help you to memorize. You just have to see these words and you'll be able to edit it. And also one more thing, make sure that there is one page for each and every topic with you with Sanskrit words in there. Like it should be like, once when we'll be done with this, make sure that you have complete page of all these Sanskrit words, because Sanskrit words in Indian philosophy matters a lot, as they are the one which will give you keywords, which will help you to make answer, format answer. So make sure you are writing that. This is it for today. I'll see you in the next class. Thank you.